YouTube, what is up? It's your boy Bio, back with another video for the channel. This is the first figure review for the channel. Last time, first video, we looked at the figure collection that I had from the previous channel. Saw all the figures that I collected, but today we're gonna do an actual figure review on the Iron Man Mark II figure from Hasbro. This is the figure that came out way back in like 2008. When the first movie came out, and technically it's not considered a Marvel Legends, but I still call it a Marvel Legends because it basically, as far as like scale and design goes, it fits in with the modern MCU Marvel Legends figures that came out. Like all those more recent Iron Man figures. This is pretty much in scale with those. It's going to be a little bit smaller, and I'll show that off at the end when we do some size comparisons, but overall it's about the same scale as like the newer Marvel Legends Iron Man figures. And it's made by the same company, Hasbro. So Hasbro had their line of Iron Man figures for the first Iron Man movie and the second Iron Man movie, and then at some point moving on from there, at some point they became officially like MCU Marvel Legends figures. And the scale for a lot of those later Iron Man figures got like a little bit bigger, but overall they're still the same. Like, they definitely fit. So but yeah, man, as you can see, we got the package right here, looking really cool. This is one of those older figures that I always wanted to get, but I never had. I had like the Mark III Iron Man, but I never had the Mark II. And I actually had to like do some digging to even find out if this guy was actually like real, like I thought he was, because when I was trying to find reviews of him on YouTube, I couldn't find any at first. And I thought maybe I just like imagined that this guy was like, a figure in this line. But after doing some digging, I found out that he was in fact real. And I think I found like maybe a review or two of him on YouTube already. And I was like, yeah, I gotta pick him up, for the Iron Man collection, the movie collection. So I got him. Here he is. Here's the nice, very nice package. As you can see, I really like, these kind of older style Iron Man packages. I like the artwork up here. It says Iron Man, nice and simple. You got Iron Man down here on the side. It says Mark II in that little corner. It has a O2 right there. It says firing missile. As you can see, he comes with 2 missile launchers. And here's a look at the back of the package. It's got a picture of the figure. It says Iron Man, and then it's got a little read up. It says, driven to heroism by personal tragedy, billionaire industrialist Tony Stark resolves to change the world, becoming the invincible Iron Man. I love it. I love it. It says below that, Iron Man Mark II, the thick interlocking plates of this armor offer a high degree of protection to the wearer from all small arms fire, ranging up to light artillery. Integrated artificial intelligence grant extremely sophisticated tactical options, making the user a match for superior forces. So that's what's up, man. But without further ado, enough talking, let's get this guy open. I did take the liberty of removing some of the tape earlier to make this easier to open up. But it's a pretty basic packaging, nothing too convoluted that would make it difficult to open, so that definitely helps out. I'm gonna try to keep this package nice because I do kind of want to keep it. Like I said, I like this older style packaging. I think it looks pretty cool. So I'm gonna do my best to keep it in good shape here as I open him up. Alright, so the back, there we go. Oh, okay, it looks like he comes with a little something too. Probably, I think it's like a catalog. Probably gonna show off like other figures or something. But let's see here. First video, guys. I'm trying to get it in that 20-minute range, like I told you I would. So gotta move a little quickly here. But anyways, folded up at the bottom of his packaging, there is this Iron Man catalog, and that actually looks pretty cool. I like that render of Iron Man right there. That looks pretty cool. Hasbro, it says visit hasbro.com/Iron Man. And Okay, yeah. So yeah, it's like a catalog basically, kind of showing off other figures and toys that you can get from the line. I like this page right here. This page kind of shows off, you know. I had this Iron Man, which is like the Mark III, and it had like a removable helmet and like chest piece, two different arc reactors, you know, the shoulder plates and the arm gauntlets. So that's pretty cool. Snap-on armor Iron Man. I had that one as a kid. I remember that, and I think I might have had the regular release of the Mark III over here as well. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, the little catalog. It's got different pages in there, but that's not what we care about. We care about this Mark II Iron Man, right? So let's see. Here he is out of the packaging. And it looks pretty good. Wow, that head joint is actually very stiff, which is not a bad thing, you know. I'd rather it be stiff than loose. That's what she said, but but anyways, here is the Mark II out of the packaging. Let me see if I can get him standing up here in a good pose. His legs are a little tricky, and I'll talk about that when we get to the articulation. But his legs are a little tricky to pose because these, you know, this older style articulation for the legs. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so yeah, I just had to kind of basically move the ball hinge around for his legs in order to get his legs into the position I wanted. I'm just gonna put his arms down by his sides for now. Oh, okay, yeah, where'd his other, oh, there it is, came off in the package. His other shoulder pad kind of came off there. But anyways, there is Iron Man. All right. Mark II Iron Man. He is in a bit of an awkward pose right now, and I'll explain why in a little bit, but there is the figure. All right. Before we really dive into him, let's look at his accessories and what it comes with, which isn't much. I basically kind of showed it at the beginning, you know, those missile launchers. That's basically all he comes with as far as accessories. So he comes with two of these. Just your basic, you know, missile launcher, very basic, you know, molded in gray plastic, no really like painted detail or anything like that. They have like a button on the top here. See this little button? You can press that, and then you can put in this little missile piece, which is made out of like a very light blue, kind of translucent plastic. You can see that there. It's a little missile launcher thing. You can put it inside of the blaster like so, and press the button and it should fire off. So let's see how far it goes. Oh wow, pretty far. I don't know if that actually got caught on camera, but it actually flew a good distance. So there is that. So he comes with two of those, two blasters and two blast effects. But let's talk about Iron Man, shall we? So here is the Mark II Iron Man. Is this a good Iron Man figure? Well, that's what we are about to find out. So here he is. Okay. Just trying to get him kind of standing. All right, there we go. So that's the Mark II Iron Man. As you can see, the design on him isn't bad in figure form, but to be honest with you guys, I wish it looked a little more accurate to the source material. And when I say the source material, I mean the movie, obviously. And so I'll kind of show you what I mean by that. I found an image online, got my computer ready. And there's an image of him in Iron Man, or from Iron Man 1. And I don't know, the paint choice that they chose to go with for this particular figure, it's cool and all, but it doesn't exactly, you know, replicate the doesn't really replicate the look. Oh wow, my computer's dead. My computer unfortunately has a battery problem. It dies very quickly if I don't have the charger in, so can't really show you the picture like I wanted to. But anyways, anybody that's seen the first Iron Man movie or even the second one, you've seen the Mark II. You know how it looks in the movie. It's a very not exactly mirror finish, but it's made out of a very reflective type of metal, right? Like a silver metal, which I feel like they did pretty good as far for the paint, as far as like his mask goes, and these like the upper thigh portions on the legs and in the arms right here. I really like that color, that silver paint that they chose to go with. I think that's really good, and I kind of wish they would have just kept that uniform throughout the entire figure. But for some reason or another, they decided to go with this like darker, kind of more gunmetal gray, I guess, plastic for like the torso and the abs and the shoulder blades and basically everywhere else. You can see it from the back here. You can see like they got like the nice light silver color a little bit in his back and like on the back of the thighs, like the glutes and stuff. But for the rest, it's just kind of like this gunmetal gray. I don't really know why they chose to do that. I think what they were trying to do, because after I looked at some images online, I saw that they had like there's shots in the movie where obviously like if the armor's being as reflective as it is, it catches light in like different ways. So like some shots like the armor will look darker because the things around it are darker, right? So it's like reflecting that. And then obviously when there's more light in the room, the armor looks more like this, the bright silver, which is what I like. I still think this figure overall would have looked a lot better if they had just kept this color and throughout the whole figure, but they didn't do that. So it is what it is. But I still overall I do like the design of it. I like how it looks. And so let's go ahead and talk about articulation. So got to keep in mind that this is an older figure, so articulation and a few things have changed since then. So if it doesn't exactly match like a modern day Marvel Legends articulation, well, that's why. This was a part of the specific Iron Man line before all of those other Marvel Legends figures came out from Hasbro. So, but anyways, articulation pretty good. So we got a double jointed elbow. You get a lot of nice bend out of that. See that? Bend his arm back pretty far. Obviously can extend back out. Now one of the annoying things about these older Iron Man figures, and there it goes, is that the shoulder pads pop off very easily. And I'm noticing on this one that he doesn't even really have a place like on his shoulders. Like they didn't even make like a like a space to kind of like click it in and hold it into place. So you really just kind of have to like place his armor pads on his shoulders and just kind of hope that they stay in place. But obviously, as you move the arm around, it's probably going to fall off in certain positions. So that's a little unfortunate, but I'm just going to take that shoulder pad off real quick so I can show you his range of movement. So for the arms here, we can go full 360, rotate all the way around. See that? So that's nice. Nice out to the side. We've got like a hinge in the ball there, so it can go straight out to the side like that and come pretty far in, like towards the chest. So that's pretty good. Obviously, same thing on the other side. For the torso, we get decent bend back. So you can see that he's arching his back right there. And here's how he looks from the side, so you can see just how much he's going back. It's actually not that much, but it's all right, especially for like an older figure. Coming forward, hardly anything. Almost like no range going forward, but it is what it is. They didn't have the best type of articulation setup in these older Iron Man figures. Now for the legs, like I was saying earlier, the legs are on this weird thing, kind of like the shoulders, where it's like a ball and they have a hinge, so you kind of have to like move the hinge around in order to get the legs to go in the position that you want them to. And a lot of times if you don't, they'll be like in a very awkward position. So yeah, that's not the best way to design, your leg, your the leg articulation, but that's how they did it on these older figures, so that's just what it is. But you can kind of like maneuver that ball around so that you can get the hinge kind of like in place, front and center here, so that way you can bring the leg up, and then from there you can kind of just like maneuver the thigh. He's got like a thigh swivel on that ball. He's got my bad, y'all. Get it together. We professional over here. But yeah, he's got double jointed knees. Oh my goodness. Sorry, camera keeps falling here. I apologize. Okay, yeah, so he's got double jointed knees. So you can get a decent bend out of that. It kind of gives off that, kind of gives like an ugly, gap, and like the knee armor kind of points out right there. That looks kind of ugly, but I mean, it's not that bad. At least we get a lot of range out of it. And then for the toes or the feet, we don't get any ankle rocker or anything like that, but we can move them a little bit up and then a little bit back. Not much, because you have this big piece, this plated piece that kind of restricts the movement there, but not too bad. But yeah, and then obviously maneuvering those balls in the legs for the hips, you can actually kind of get them and get the legs going all the way out to the side, so you can kind of get like a splits. So that's cool. Just kind of have to like do a little maneuvering around. And let me not forget the head. I haven't talked about the head yet. So like as far as head movement goes, he can look. Oh, there goes his other shoulder pad. Yeah, those old shoulder pads are very problematic when it comes to posing and whatnot. But he can look up about that much and put his arm down. From the side, you can see he can look up that much. As far as looking down, he can go. Ooh, popped off the head. So I exceeded the range of his looking down, but that was an easy pop back on. So yeah, you can just kind of move it a little bit. He can look down. Not the greatest. Oh, my camera. My my setup's really bad. Excuse me. Let me see if I can get this. Okay, there we go. All right, so yeah, not the greatest range for the head. He's got a little bit of head tilt in there, so you can lean side to side. That's actually pretty decent. You can get him kind of leaning side to side, and then obviously since it's on a ball, there's a ball, but it seems like there's no hinge, so you can rotate the head all the way around 360. So that's cool. But yeah, man. So that's pretty much it. That's gonna be that's the Mark II Iron Man. That's pretty much his articulation. Oh yeah, and then obviously the hands do have hinges in them, and they look kind of cool. I like that they actually kind of like painted in the arc reactors. They did that on the older figures. They kind of stopped doing it at some point when it came to like the newer Marvel Legends. They kind of stopped painting in his repulsors, which is unfortunate, but they did paint them on these older figures, so that's nice. And obviously you can see it has the hinge in there, so get a little bit of range out of the hands, not too much, because that top armor piece on top here kind of runs into the sculpt of the arm, so you can't raise it too much, but kind of get it going down more. Get it going down all the way like that. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, so that's pretty much it as far as articulation goes. And then we'll just take another look at the overall aesthetics. I'm gonna pop his shoulder pads back on, so you can get a true sense of what he's supposed to look like. And the nice thing about those removable shoulder pads is they do actually kind of pop on nicely. Like they kind of have a snug fit when you pop them on, even though there's nothing to really truly hold them in place. They do kind of pop in there pretty snug, so they don't really feel like they're gonna fall off. It's not until you like really start messing with it that they fall off. So that's kind of nice. But yeah, just trying to get him to not be in a awkward position right now. I can maneuver. Okay, there we go. Got his legs in a good position there. But yeah, man, that's the Mark II. This is the old Hasbro Iron Man movie series Mark II. It's not a bad figure, man. Like I said, you know, obviously there's those issues when it comes to articulation and some of the design choice, at least for me. So if I had to give this guy an overall rating, keeping in mind that this is an older figure and he's not quite, you know, what the newer Marvel Legends Iron Man figures are, if I had to give it a rating based on what it was at the time, I'd probably give him, like an 8.5 to 9 out of 10. It's not a bad figure by any means. I think we could have got some better accessories, you know, those missile launchers. I've never been a fan of like gimmicks, you know, with action figures most of the time. I don't really prefer gimmicks. I'd rather have like additional accessories or something that, you know, can really make the figure look dynamic for like a display or something like that. Or just like more fun to play with. I'm not really into gimmicks that much. I feel like that's more of like a little kid, you know, kind of thing. But overall, you know, still it's you know, those little missile launchers aren't bad that we got. And also, one thing that I wanted to mention, I don't know if you guys can see it on camera. I hope you can see it in the light here. He's got like these yellow sections on here by like his legs. And I don't know if that was a thing in the movie or not, because if it is, I never noticed it. But if it is, please let me know in the comments below. Maybe leave a comment and tell me if that's an actual thing, because I thought that was kind of interesting. They put these like yellow stripes right here on the, see that? Get some focus, like on the side right there by his legs. I don't know if that's an actual thing, but they threw it in there. But yeah, that's it, man. So yeah, I'll probably give him like a solid 8.5 out of 10. Not a bad figure. Mine's got a little bit of a scuff here. You can kind of see on his face, on the face mask, he's got a little bit of a spot there. So I can, yeah, you can see that little spot on his forehead. But overall, the paintwork is pretty clean on mine. Can't complain. And I'll say that like the shoulder pads and like the knee guards kind of have like a more rusty metallic look to it. I don't know if they like threw a wash over it, but I find that kind of interesting that the darker parts kind of have like that, looks like a wash over it. So it's like a little dirty and grungy looking, but not bad. Not bad at all. So that's the Mark II. And so this video is going 22 minutes, so let me hurry up before I reach my 25-minute mark, because that's the max I ever want these videos to be. So here he is for some size comparisons. Here he is, I'll back him up a bit. All right, get some focus on him. Hopefully the lighting is okay. Apologize for the lighting in here, guys. I know it's not the best. But anyways, here he is next to the McFarlane Spider-Man, and I think we'll need to push him back a little bit more. I really hate that I have to film this, you know, in vertical mode, but you know, what is it, landscape just wasn't working for me, so I had to do it in portrait mode. I hope you guys don't mind. But there he is next to the McFarlane Spider-Man, so hopefully that kind of gives you a nice height comparison. You can see they're pretty much standing around the same height, so that's pretty cool. Next we'll throw in another Hasbro figure. This is a Lightning Collection Dino Thunder Blue Ranger. He's kind of leaning to the side. There we go. So there he is next to him. You gotta kind of see the size there. All right. And then we'll get him next to a Mattel figure. This is the black suit variant of the Man of Steel Superman. And his legs are a little bent, so let's straighten that out. And I think that's pretty good. See, the Iron Man is just a little bit taller than that Superman, so that's pretty good. And lastly, we shall get him next to a Iron Man 2 War Machine figure. And I think these two look really awesome next to each other. Remember, the War Machine is really just an upgraded version of this suit. So, you know, the Mark II got retooled and engineered to become the War Machine Mark I. And I think these two look really badass, right? You know, side by side. So that's looking pretty good. I like it. I dig it. So yeah, that's gonna be it for the review, guys. If you like the video, please leave a like for your boy. Comment down below. Subscribe to the channel. Got plenty of other figure reviews and awesome content coming your way. So if you don't want to miss out, I highly suggest you subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Let me know if you have this particular figure or any of the figures that I compared him with. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this figure, what your collection looks like, anything like that. Please leave a comment down below and let's talk. Let's talk action figures. But yeah, that's going to be it for the video. So thank you guys for watching. This is your boy, BioSpider 3.0, signing off. Keep the action going, and I'll see you next time. Peace.